Edgar Snowden Show. Today from a completely new studio. We can take a deep breath. We're going to demonstrate that we can deal with change here. And if you're a perfect audience, take another deep breath. And after the third, we'll do an Om, because we have to practice our intentions and intuitions. So, it's been a good day here at Lake Woebegone, where we're all above average, and we're all dealing with Extinction 2112. That's the date. And with 2020 hypo hindsight, we'll be thinking, oh, of course that happened. Why wouldn't it have? Have you checked out New York Times today? On the front page is an analysis of Tianjin. That's where there was a chemical explosion that killed a whole bunch of people. Was it 50 or 150? Injured 700. It was like a miniature Bhopal. And it turns out that it happened just the way it happens in this country. Because businesses cut corners, because dysregulation is not only allowed, it's encouraged. And if you're connected, you can cut corners and save money and make a little bigger profit by changing the risk-reward ratio so that there's much more risk for the public and much more reward for you, privatized. From cutting corners, from dumping hazardous waste, from storing stuff too close together, from having 4 times the spent fuel rods at Indian Point. This Tianjin experiment, disaster, catastrophe, happening close to residential and school settings. People are worried, and I'd be worried if I was around there too. We should all be worried, especially about Indian Point, because Indian Point is not quite like Tianjin. No, Indian Point, if there's an accident there, say in the storage, in those Mark 1 GE low-end Yugo level spent fuel pools that are regulated by the NRC and FERC, who never saw a spent fuel pool packed up to 4 times, 400% what has been deemed safety. Never seen one they didn't like. Never seen a license they couldn't extend. And here we are. Global warming in the offing and the awning. Check it out. Have you been outside today? Yesterday? We've gotten away pretty easily. It's not been a bad summer, truth be told, here in Cambridge. Especially for those of us who have in-flight air conditioning. And that works. Mine does. So I'm lucky. So it's easy at one level. But all that air conditioning just sends more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, more electricity to run the air conditioning. And that electricity produced in coal-fired power plants. And here we are looking for the clean coal, Bubba Maisa, the clean coal false narrative, the clean coal Koch brothers pet Coke, master narrative, official story. Kind of makes you sad if it doesn't make you mad. Sometimes I get mad and sometimes I get sad. Yesterday I was sad, and when I get sad, sometimes I get really tired. But then, if I sleep well, and since it was air conditioned, I did actually sleep pretty well yesterday. I have a good day like today, where it's all happening, where things come together, where I write, practice intention and intuition, and it seems inspired and improvised both. And us 36, I hope you're one of them. I hope there are those perfect audience listening, watching. Listen to what you watch. Watch what you're hearing. Because we can break it down. Let me break it down for you. Let me tell you the breathtaking truth, my BFF, best friend forever. We're all going down together. And that's sad. 2112, that's the date I've chosen because it's palindromatic, anagrammatic, something like that, palimpsestic, one of them words, ekphrastic maybe. Well, they all mean something, them words. I like them words. And them neuroscientists are all mourning the death of Oliver Sacks. I heard an interview on NPR with Oliver Sacks. A nice man, I think. I think I would have liked him. I'll never know, though, because he's dead now at 82. What does that give me, 12, 13 years? Well, I hope in 12 or 13 years, I can send out an awakening the way he did. That book made him famous. Well, he was a rock star of neuroscience, but a compassionate man, I think. Sounded so whenever I kind of read or listened to him talking about his work. He was really attentive and respectful of all kinds of people that other people dismiss. I like that about a person. It's a mark of what I call Inca, enlightenment. It's the antidote to realize you're not better than other people are. Sometimes it's hard when you're getting good ideas and you're feeling your creativity, you're thinking, wow, I'm special. I'm a chosen one. But that can take you down the wrong path. That kind of chosenness can give the other people the impression that you're arrogant. Now take, for example, Dangling Chad, the psychic. He always puts me straight up. And I'm taking a deep breath. Thinking of my friend Mikey and his Labor Day party. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about all kinds of things. And I got my I and I read TPP, that's Tantric Practice Partner. I got to tell you, if you've got a tantric practice partner who makes you better and you know it, if you're happy, then show it. You got to appreciate your soulmates. I had a therapy session. You won't believe this, but I still have therapy with my ex-wife. Ex from 15 years ago. Isn't that odd? And today we talked about soulmatehood, and we do it, I'm clear about it now. We do it because we have a son. And if you got a son, even if you don't like that person you had that son with, still, you got some karmic relationships, and you got some karmic responsibility to your child, especially if he's an only child. to do everything you can to make it easy for him. Well, make it growthful for him. Make it not so confusing that he'd go crazy, go round the bend, be doing stupid shit. But never mind, we all doing stupid shit all the time. You know, just yesterday, I was doing some stupid shit. I forget it now. But is the truth be told, on a bad day, I find myself sometimes sneaking off and not saying what I really think and not being honest. Being honest takes a lot of energy. Have you ever noticed that? And I read TPP. If you're with someone and you're not feeling great, it's real easy to take it out on them. I've learned that. It's taken me a long time to realize that often when I'm feeling crummy and angry, I need to do something about that anger. First, I need to enmesh it in a web. Slow it down. It's all about slowing it down to half speed. You know, if you can slow it down to half speed, then you can start to break it down. What it means to be soulmates. What do you think it means? Do you have soulmates? And is there only one? And is it only someone who you have a physical relationship with? Or can you have other kind of soulmates? I mean, is Oliver Sacks my soulmate? Sometimes I think so. Soulmates, maybe soulmates is what the 36 Lamed-Vavniks are. But you know your soulmates by their generosity, by their gratitude, by their appreciation, by their feeling that they get it, by their meaning well. You get a sense that they mean you well. That's the big thing, really. And you get a sense, too, that they're given the benefit of the doubt, that they see you doing stupid shit, and still they give you the benefit of the doubt. How sweet is that? I mean, can you do that? Can you give someone the benefit of the doubt? Take a deep breath. Be honest with yourself. Are you acting in good faith? You know, it's easy to be negative in this culture. It's the culture of Indian Point. It's the culture of the NRC approving the Indian Point license, approving a pipe being doubled in diameter, a fracking pipe that goes within 100 feet of Indian Point. Can you believe it? It's just like Tianjin. And mark my words, mark them to market, because there's going to be an accident at Indian Point. And if there's a big accident at Indian Point, that's only Indian Point, only 25 miles from New York City. The fallout, which when it happened in Fukushima, the fallout zone that they told Americans not to approach Fukushima, Daiichi, within 50 miles. Well, New York City, the middle of New York City, is 25 miles from Indian Point nuclear reactor. And if those spent fuel pools, which are packed to 400% their initially assessed safe zone, if something happens and them spent fuel pools react and the zirconium cladding starts to melt, and then everything starts to melt, because nuclear reactions, you got to cool them all the time. And once things start to break down, the cooling starts to break down, and then you have a meltdown meltdown like we got at Fukushima. They're just starting to get the plumes that, because they've been pumping Fukushima into the ocean, and that ocean runs to the Pacific, runs to the coast, the west coast. They're just now picking up in the seawater. They're picking up radioactivity above what it was. I don't know how much above, but I bet as this all goes on, and you know who's in charge? TEPCO is in charge of the cleanup. And that what they're doing, they're building a frozen barrier underneath the ground. That seems a little stupid, a little crazy really in this global warming time. But I don't know, TEPCO must know best. After all, they built Fukushima and said there couldn't be a problem. I don't know. We're a ghost species, I think. Extinction 2112. With a little 2020 hypo hindsight, it's easy to see. You know, we keep pumping that carbon dioxide, that methane, into the atmosphere. It's not working, really. The permafrost has begun to melt. And in some places melted through in Alaska. And there's all them drunken trees because the soil underneath just cracks, subsides, drops in. And then you got that mega drought in California, and you got them fires in Washington. And truth be told, it's all connected. And it's connected in not a good way. Not a good way at all. You got to take a deep breath. And I do. Us 36, we're telling it straight. You act in good faith. You give the benefit of the doubt. You mean well. So's you can tell breathtaking truth to BFFs. You know, whether they out there or not. I hope you all out there. I hope I got my perfect audience out there, 'cause telling the truth to the perfect audience helps. You know, it helps when you have a conversation and you apologize for what you do. You know, in our herbal administration, job number one going to be to apologize to the Holocenic cohort of species, most of which are going to die. The polar bears are dead meat. Most of the seal populations too. And the walruses and the sea lions, they're all suffering, even as we speak, and it hasn't really begun to get hot. It's like a James Ray sauna. You know? We're in the hot zone, getting hot flashes, fast and furious. It's all happening. And still, those of us who see it coming, some ways it seems like there's nothing to do, but I'm going to run against Hillary. And in our herbal administration at the alchemical shul and Shulen, we're going to be worshiping God S. That's the first thing we got to do. All them people, especially them Republicans, say they worship God. They believe in God. They believe in a higher power. They believe that God creationistized the world. They don't believe in evolution. The science isn't in. They don't believe in climate change. You just asked Jebitch. And Hillary, she ain't going to do nothing about it neither. Just like Obama up there in Alaska today, talking about climate change, and at the same time, just like ISIS in Palmyra, the U.S. has allowed Shell to drill in the Arctic. Can you believe it? Shell in the Arctic is the Keystone XL pipeline. And it all just keeps happening. Now they're talking in Epoch Times about mining asteroids. What's that about? The Japanese are trying to hydrofrack the clathrates. Nobody knows much about clathrates and what purpose they serve in the underwater ecosystem, but they got some valuable minerals and methane, and the Japanese have been spending billions of dollars because they don't have a lot of frack gas. They don't have pretty much no oil. They import all the natural gas, and their nuclear reactors got shut down, and they just started up 2 again, 2 out of 50, I think. And Abe, in his Abenomics, failed Abenomics, wants to keep it all going. It's all very Trump-tastic, very Trump-tastic. And they all want to build border lines. It's crazy. It's crazy and it's mean. And if there's a God and they believe in that God is really screwed up. If he's supporting any Republican candidate or even any Democrat candidate, how could God support them people doing stuff like Obama's doing? And the Israelis and their Israelity. They haven't caught them people who burnt an 18-month-old Palestinians. They haven't caught those people yet. They caught a lot of Palestinians doing bad stuff. Fighting back, the right to self-defense. That's what the Palestinians call it. The Israelis call it terrorism. How do you know? And then there's all them traffickers on the high seas. And them stowaways and them stateless people, like them people being driven from Syria. They don't got no passports. The Palestinians, some big Palestinian refugee camps in Syria. 1 million people, 2 million people, just shut down, closed, driven out. Those are all stateless people. They're all trying to get into Europe. Some of them drowning, some of them in trucks being suffocated. You know, what's it like being undocumented? You know, we're all Native Americans now, and it's 1491, and we're going to be driven out of our own country. We're all Haitians now, Dominican Haitians, being declared stateless, undocumented, driven over the border into Haiti. The Haiti that was, when someone told Aristide, Jean-Claude Aristide, when he told it like it was, Clinton drove him out at the same time he did the welfare reform. 3 strikes and you're out. 5 years of welfare total in your lifetime. And all them children, all them children who ain't got enough to eat, who's homeless, you know, what do they become? They become, in places like Ferguson, the people that get arrested and put in jail for riding their bicycles on the sidewalk, for standing outside their own buildings, for having straws on them. And then if they can't make bail and if they won't plead out, they get put in jail to await trial. And then the courts are clogged. The courts of white justice are clogged as they are. And then what happens? You know, AT&T gets retroactive immunity for doing illegal things, allowing the NSA, the Edgar Snowden people, and my brother Eddie broke it all down, sent it all around. And now it turns out that AT&T and the NSA were partners in crime. And AT&T made it $180 million doing illegal things with the NSA. And then when they got caught, retroactive immunity. That's what we call moral hazard, moral epi-hazard. It's all happening in the epicycle of eukaryotic semi-sapiens. Us eukaryotic semi-sapiens are almost done. 2-3 more generations. Extinction 2112. We're all at the hypocenter of Hiroshima. And the Truman story. Yeah, Truman syndrome. Truman doctrine, manifest destiny, destiny's child. And my Irene TPP, she's the LeBron Beyonce of aging. I appreciate her, and I'm better with her than without her. I got to tell you, without her, I'm less than half of myself. So I'm grateful. That's where I want to end the show today. Grateful to have an Irene TPP tantric practice partner. Being an old man